You are what?
You remind me of the babe. Power.
Happy Sunday, folks. It's Labyrinth Deep Dive. What you got to say, J-Mac? I can see it's itching to say something.
I love the way Hoggle popped up in the middle of that, like he just caught me shoplifting. Just like
That's how he pops up all the way through Labyrinth. Tonight we are chatting about the classic, the 1986 masterpiece, the cult classic that is Labyrinth. Should we call it Jim Henson's Labyrinth or just Labyrinth? I think sometimes when you've got such a master of work that you should, like James Cameron's Terminator, Jim Henson's Labyrinth.
Nah, just Labyrinth. Everybody knows it's Jim Henson's anyway.
Some folk call it The Labyrinth.
They people annoy me. It's the same folk that say Tesco's
and Asda's, Lidl's, Sainsbury's. Aye, that's some bad patter, man. Some absolute bad patter. Here we go. Lander says, disappointed in the lack of costumes. I am dressed up. What are you talking about? I've come as the bug of eternal stench. I'm thinking.
I have to say, Matthew Man's depiction of me as the Goblin King was the nonsiest thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
No, it was phenomenal. I thought, shout out to Matthew Man as motherfucking always. Guy comes through for us, man. Look at that. Such an art piece, like the film itself. I'm Sarah, the wee squeak, and you're the Goblin King. You're basically what Jack Black would look like playing the Goblin King, no?
Thanks. Or what?
That's a compliment.
Thanks very much.
Jack Black's talented.
He's talented, aye. Not really known for being particularly handsome, but is he?
Sorry, mate. I don't know. I think folk would do Jack Black.
Because he's minted.
Mentally talented. Mentally talented.
Play the best song. And only Jack Black could sell a million records singing like that.
I think so. And by the way, see, before we even smash right into this, I don't think I ever seen David Bowie like playing any of these songs from this film at any of his concerts.
Well, I've not really watched any of his concerts. I wouldn't be able to comment on that.
I've watched quite a few. I mean, they probably exist, wee live one-shots here and there. Mm-hmm. But, I don't think... It's like Survivor. You're going to see Survivor. They're definitely playing Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't think Bowie rested on any of these songs. I think
he wouldn't have had to. That's the thing.
No, definitely didn't he? Survivor, I imagine that as like going to see Survivor and they're like, any requests? And everybody's like, Eye of the Tiger. Any other requests? And folk are like, Burning Heart!
Aye, like anything else? Fuck's sake. We've done other songs.
Aye.
It's like the whole crowd goes, what?
Aye.
It's like going to see Europe and they don't play Final Countdown. It's like, well, what else he's done? Like, I came here to watch you play Final Countdown for 2 hours.
It's like Harry Fartbanger doing a live concert, and no playing, you know, the old. I don't know if you can see that, the old Top Gun.
I
The old Top
couldn't
Gun
see
theme.
that.
Top
Your
Gun
light's
anthem.
quite dark tonight. You're unusually dark tonight.
It's no. Do you know what it is? I'll be honest, right? This camera is a really hefty camera, right? To the point my PC's. It's like the camera's like. It's like my PC's a horse, and I'm trying to drag a Tesla that just will only start. So anytime I turn on like the settings to edit how my camera looks, my PC's like, we can't take it. Please offload. So I have to shut the app, otherwise my computer just blows up because it's such a high-powered thing. So this camera actually is capable of much more than what I can actually do with it because the PC and my PC's a fairly decent PC, but this just it requires much more to run it. So it does what it wants, and I tried, and it told me no, and I was like, well, I'm not going any further in case it implodes, and I have to go back to Atati for the rest of the night.
Can't have 2 of them in 1 week. You know what I mean?
I know. It's a good thing I didn't pay 250,000 for this camera.
Aye.
So, Labyrinth. Before we kind of crack right into the film, we're going to talk a wee bit about how we first seen it, when we first seen it. Myself, I had this video as a double, and they used to be fat. It used to be quite fat when you'd get 2 cassettes VHS. One was Labyrinth, and the other is, come on, you know what it was. Name another film that would come with Labyrinth if you were going to try and sell them as a double pack.
Legend.
No.
Never ending story.
No, I wish.
I actually don't know.
It was Dark Crystal.
Oh, of course, what a dick.
Yeah, you feel stupid now, don't you?
I'm just going to go back in my box over here and kill myself.
Stupid now. The man himself is in the comments. Matthew
Good
says,
evening,
evening,
Matthew.
gents. Good evening, Matthew. Oh, she said it before. Hey, Lander, sorry I didn't see your comment while I was asking. She obviously had the same set as me. Hey?
Yeah, maybe, or she just deduced that both of them were Jim Henson studio films. So.
I have a feeling that Lander is going to show the both of us up tonight when we're chatting about Labyrinth. I have a feeling that we love it, but I have a feeling that she has it. You know what I mean?
I think she's a Labyrinth kid.
No complaining. Hey, I'm a Labyrinth kid. That was kind of. I remember first seeing it when my mum was like, "Here, watch Labyrinth. It's got David Bowie in it." And I was that young. I was like, "Fuck's David Bowie." So when I discovered David Bowie, he was that cunt for Labyrinth. Yeah.
Aye.
And bear in mind, I was very young.
Do that so eloquently as well.
I've very much progressed in my music taste since knowing that way back then, but I must have been about 5, maybe even less than that. And for me, that was, that's the guy that's in Labyrinth. And then I discovered everything else about Bowie. And now Bowie to me is Labyrinth's just something he done, you know. But at the time, that's what he was for me. Tell me, after Linda's comment, tell me you're first. She says, no, I had a VHS recorded from the TV that I borrowed and never returned to my cousin. Be my favourite movie since. Hey, free DVDs, man. It's like, I'll get it back, I'll get it back. And then the next time, I had done that once. I can't remember what the movie was. It was a gangster movie. New Jack City or something like that. Got a shot at it off someone, right? And then the guy at my work was like, can I get that after it? And she was like, just get it to him afterwards. I was like, all right. She's like, did you ever get that? Oh, I passed on to what's his face? He's like, no, you didn't. I fucking did. No, you didn't. I was like, yeah, chase him up. Right.
Look at that Pennywise-esque smile you've got going on there.
Free DVDs. Free DVDs.
There's a difference between free and stolen.
No, there's not. There's absolutely not.
No such thing as a victimless crime.
I was like, chase him down, man. And I'm quite good at persuading folks. So I think in the end she thought he bumped it. Because I was like, I wouldn't do that to you, mate. See how many DVDs I've got? Why would I take your DVD? I can just go get it.
You should give yourself like a mission statement to see how many copies of one particular film you can steal off people.
Oh,
Like,
that'd be
just get a wee section on your shelf just for copies of like Short Circuit.
that'd be class, man. That'd be class. When did you first see it?
It's one of these ones, kind of like Never Ending Story for me. Like, I don't have a first memory of it. It's just one of the films that was always there.
Always ingrained.
I think I was like Linda though. I had it recorded off the TV. And then
Never classics.
I remember it kind of going out of my life for a while. Like, I'm the type of guy that will watch the same film over and over again. I always have been. And it went out of my life for a while. And then I bought it on DVD maybe 20 years ago. And I remember the first time I put it on. And just as soon as the starting the title sequence came up, I was like taken right back to being a kid again.
Yep, that does it for me. I think even as well, like the sound, the whole soundtrack. So we've said this for quite some time now, that a great movie really does have a great soundtrack, and a lot of movies nowadays are lacking that. And I think when you put the music on, it should make you want to watch the film because you're like, oh yes, man. And sadly, they're lacking these days.
They really are. Oh, excuse me.
They proper are. See, in my office, what I tend to do now is get stuff I really like and frame it, put it up in the office. Seeing as a cinema office, why not be cinema? Here's what sits very comfortably on my wall. Look at that shears and ears. That's amazing. Eh? That's pretty class, man.
That looks like a really old book cover or something.
I know. And do you know what's funny? I got that with a calendar, right?
What is that thing behind Ludo? That evil-looking face.
Oh, that's the chill it down with the fucking. It's one of them. Hey, take off your heels! Aye. That's one of them guys. That's awesome, right? Thing is, I got it with a calendar. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then I go online to see if I could find it, just to see what the measurements was to get it framed. And those things are actually really expensive if you don't get it with it. It's cheaper to buy the calendar and get it with it than to buy it on its own. But I thought that was beautiful, so it sits now in my office, which is fucking awesome, man.
That's nice, man. It's very detailed. I like
it. It is. It's the type of poster that you want for a movie as such. So we're going to talk a wee bit about Labyrinth. It's one of those films that was done completely practical way back when. In fact, there was green screen in there, and I'd never noticed until I rewatched it again. For my whole life, I'd always been like, oh, okay, I know there's some green screen, but I didn't pay attention to it until now. And I really started to notice it. I was like, oh yeah, bam, yeah. I can actually do better now than what that was.
Yeah. There's a couple of scenes in particular with the green screen is really
bad. One. You go straight down to that castle. That one.
That wasn't particularly great.
Right, did you notice the big box around it? It's clearly... I was like, I've never noticed that before.
It was just like us sitting here.
And it's like, the other part as well, Sarah, don't defy me. That scene.
Yeah.
It's like, from one shot, you can see with the labyrinth behind them, you can see where they've been chroma keyed.
Give them some credit. It was 1986.
Hey, I give them all credit. Because
this was the first ever attempt at a photorealistic CGI animal. With the owl at the beginning. That was the first ever time it had been tried. And looking at it now, I mean, it doesn't look great, but again, it was 1986. It was pretty well ahead of its time, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was your first experience watching it afterwards? Because Matthew, when I was chatting to him, he says his wee daughter was that into it. I had it on today. Again, I've watched it recently, and then again today. And my daughters are like, it's scary because they're did she say it? And by the way, see those wee hands, right, where she goes down into the tunnel.
Yeah, that's way later on.
I know, but get this right. I am dead certain that one of them is Abe for Abe's Odyssey. One is 100%. One is 100% Abe from Oddworld, right? Because the voice is the exact same. I keep going to go tail, but I can't. So Lander says, you see the puppeteers in the fiery scene. Yes, you do. You absolutely do. Oh no, it's my da happening, guys. All right, da.
All right, Kev's dad.
Wee. Aye. You
Kev's
do.
dad looks younger than Kev.
Disagree. Disagree. He's
you-
using an old photo. Aye.
So the green screen at times is pretty bad, but again, I think it adds to the charm. I really do. It's something I think films are too polished now. I like being able to watch an old like a kids movie, a fantasy film, and know that I'm looking at a movie set made of plastic. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's effort that goes into that.
See the detail, like the absolute detail that goes into that film. Even from Sarah, like she's got a ton of the puppets and stuff that are in it. She's got them all in her room.
Yep.
She's got a picture of Jareth on her wall. You know what I mean?
She's also got a D&D box set.
Matthew says only found out one of the wee fire guys was voiced by Danny John Jules.
Aye, who's that?
You don't know who Danny John Jules is?
No, please tell me quickly before you Google it.
Mate, would I Google it? So Danny John Jules, he's a fella that basically he was born 16th of September 1960. He's a British actor, singer, and dancer. He was in Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. He's in Little Shop of Horrors, Blade 2. He voiced that in Labyrinth. He's in the Great Muppet Caper. He's in loads of stuff. What can I say?
I wonder how much else you could tell me he's in without looking at the screen.
Linda says they used a ridiculous amount of glitter. Hey,
that is true. Over the walls and the logs and everything when she's first running through the start of the labyrinth, where it's just one straight line. The bit at the beginning of the film, like I was convinced when I was watching it, I was like, this looks like the same town that was used for the Goonies or something. So I had that same kind of feel about it. I'm completely wrong. Completely different part of the country. It was some wee town in upper New York State. What was it called? I've written it down. Upper Nyack is the name of the place.
Like
it sounds like a dirty thing to do.
Fiona says Labyrinth is an amazing 80s film. Bowie says it all. You can't go wrong with Bowie. I was listening to this other song, I can't mind. Leander put me onto it. It's quite mental. Cat for Red Dwarf is Danny John. Danny John, for fuck's sake. Because
you never mentioned Red Dwarf.
Because when he said the cat, right, I went, oh, right, the cat, right, and totally glossed over it. So Matthew was expecting me to get that from Red Dwarf, and I didn't. I let him down. So there's the for fuck's sake, because cat people. Aye. Red Dwarf was never one of my things. Todd gave me a ton of the box sets there, all the series, and but I've never watched it. It was just never nothing I was able to access. Craig Charles is class, though. He was cool in Coronation Street, but even better in Takeshi's Castle.
I've never ever heard somebody say Craig Charles is cool in Coronation Street.
He wasn't cool in Coronation Street, but he's got a very... Hey, he done Robot Wars, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was the guy that was like, oh, we're going to see these guys fight.
I always thought Robot Wars was hilarious. You'd get this wee thing. These two robots going at each other. One of them's got like a ramp that it hopes to just drive underneath the other robot way and flip it over. The other one's got like a sledgehammer and a chainsaw on it. You're like, how's this one going to go?
And the kid starts greeting when his robot gets tanned. So, the Labyrinth movie had £25 million as a budget. And I think nowadays we could recreate that. Well, we could create something similar for the same kind of thing, much cheaper. Would you say? Because I bet you they didn't have B&M back then. In fact, I know they didn't.
Didn't have what?
B&M.
I don't. What's that?
Wait, B&M. Oh, you don't shop at B&M? Never? No.
Oh, B&M bargains. Right. Sorry, I thought you were saying B&M, like some kind of movie acronym
B&M
thing.
You could go into B&M with £1,000 and get all the glitter you want.
you were really going to go down the route. Oh, I'm too good to shop at B&M.
I was like, oh, do you get your glitter from Marks and Spencer? You fucking prick.
This isn't just glitter. This is M&S glitter.
Fucking 25 million on the budget for glitter, man. I wonder how the film would be a remake now with all the updated technology. Well,
knackered. They would
here's the thing. I just think if you've got the budget and people willing to get together, a great cast, director, and crew to do something, why not just create something fucking brand new? Give us something different. Didn't he try and fuck with what's already deemed an absolute classic? So I would be against it. However, if they did remake it and somebody like Jack Black was to play Jareth, I'd expect to see it like do something different with it. Like I didn't want to hear Magic Dance sung by Jack Black. No. And he done phenomenal with Super Mario. That Peaches song's really, really done well for the franchise.
I wasn't that keen on that.
No, I'm not that keen on it, but I hear my kids singing it, so that's how I know it's done well.
I'm like, oh no, the kids like it.
If the kids like it, it pays, my man. It pays. Fiona says, Jesus, Kevin, that's your dad's laugh. Oh, here we go. No, it's my laugh. Right? He's mum. The Disney own the rights. If so, it's doomed. Who's well, Park Circus will distribute the rights. Who was it? Who initially owned it? I'll tell you now if you can tell me who. I deal with these guys every week.
If Disney's got it, I guarantee it's like Lupita Nyong'o or something. It'll be Sarah.
It was TriStar, wasn't
it? TriStar.
So who owns TriStar now?
Columbia.
Columbia. Columbia. Are they even a thing now?
I don't know, man.
Well, by the way, if it was Disney, Idris Elba would be Jareth.
Aye. Yeah, every chance.
And Sarah would be...
Idris Elba would be Sarah.
Sarah!
Jareth, played by Samuel L. Jackson. Give me the motherfucking baby!
Fuck. Dance, motherfucking dance, bitch! That is Disney at
like, well, laugh, motherfuckers!
Well, bitch, in 4 hours and 33 minutes, you'll be motherfucker. Your ass is mine. Hey, by the way, Disney do own the rights to. They acquired it, so that'll be getting tanned. Hey, make a sequel all you want. I'm fine with that.
Was that a deliberate pun?
What?
Be getting tanned.
So I see. That wasn't even deliberate. That wasn't even deliberate. Here's the thing. I'll be okay with Disney making a remake. No, a remake. A sequel. And Jareth, by the way, could be CGI'd. If anybody's seen the new Indiana Jones, you'll see how well that can be done now. Oh my god!
I'm going to see it tomorrow. Cracked it. No spoilers.
There's no spoilers. All I'll say is they've cracked that de-aging thing, by the way, and AI somebody's face. They've cracked it. That's it. Actors now, you'll be seeing actors back for the dead in future movies because they've cracked it.
Well, they've kind of been doing that already. They did it with Peter Cushing and Rogue One and stuff like that.
Yes, and that was the first time with Peter Cushing. It still was a bit like, oh, I can tell, right? Mark Hamill in Mandalorian was fairly decent, but Indy, I was like, man, he looks younger now in this than he does when he's in the originals. And by the way, Harrison Ford, everybody keeps saying, he's old. Didn't he miss a beat, mate? Harrison Ford, even at 80, still Indiana Jones.
He's a cool guy.
Here's a nice tea to Harrison. Lander says, nope. I'd be fine with a sequel. And Jareth could still be in it.
A sequel would be okay. Don't remake it.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Well, look how
get Jennifer Connelly back. Get Jennifer Connelly back.
Aye, totally.
Let's see if that wee Toby prick stopped crying yet.
I know. By the way, get Jennifer Connelly back. Now she can actually act. And
she also aged like a fine wine.
Hey, by the way, she could act, but I just found her very whiny.
Right?
Like, throughout Labyrinth.
Oh, I'm not keen on her performance at all in Labyrinth.
I think, it was what it needed to be. Toby's real name's actually Toby.
Yeah.
And he's a dude with a beard now. How cool did we get him back? He's drinking in a bar and that. He's like, my sister, man. She got us tanned, taken away to a Labyrinth. Nobody believes us.
So here comes Toby with his goblin pish again, man.
Well, that would be class. That'd be actually class. I'd be up for it. Hey, I want to remake Labyrinth. Oh, Disney.
Nothing stopping you writing it, you know.
I know. I could actually send it to Disney.
Kevin, do you have contacts at Disney by any chance?
His name's Tom Bishop. He's the head of UK distribution, so probably should be able to should be able to see what I can do. Nah, they're never going to take me seriously. So the plot of
He phones you about the script. He's like, Kevin, you've written something here that I don't quite understand. It says Toby's sitting at a bar talking about goblins, and one of his mates tans him. What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything, Tom. It means he gets his heat kicked in. Is Malky.
Is heed? Like
Is
take heed?
Heed. Andy Gibb says, "Evening, guys. Evening, Andy Gibb." So the plot here is that, and let's kind of fine comb this, because I don't know if I'm missing anything, right? But my interpretation of Labyrinth is, I think she might have made it all up, because all the characters are all things she knows. They're all things from her bedroom.
I think it's pretty safe to assume. What else were we talking about recently where this was a possibility?
What, another film where something could have just been all made up in their head?
Yeah.
Rather than it actually being a thing.
Like it was like a coping mechanism for something. But I think she's either schizophrenic or just a fantasist.
Well, she's definitely a fantasist, man. She was sitting scribbling on books, and she's in the park. Hey, how many folk do you say, "I coming out after school"? No, I'm just going to go and stand in the park with a notepad and scream at owls.
And for some reason, wear jeans under my princess outfit.
Aye, and aye, like so. I do think there was a bit going on there, and as well, did she not say that the Goblin King was in love with a young lassie? Yeah, make a spin-off in 13 hours. Your wee brother is getting knifed. Call it Labyrinth. I want to see that as a poster. Labyrinth. He's just like that. He's just like that with his wee knife. Getting closer as the clock turns down. No. Do you know what it is? It's Jareth, but the wee thing for Saw on a bike. Labyrinth. Do you want to play a game? Well.
Who'd have thought a Labyrinth and Saw crossover would be a thing?
Mate, totally. And it's like she's got to, it's like the clock ticks, and as it gets closer to the time, the knife gets closer to Toby. She's got to get to the end of the labyrinth. Labyrinth. Fucking epic, man.
Could do one with a really chubby Goblin King. Labyrinth.
Labyrinth. That's Jack Black. It's about puberty. Tell us more, Linder. So she hates her stepmom. Doesn't quite tell you what happened to her ma.
By the way, I like how it starts off with all the wicked stepmother thing. Her stepmother actually seems like a perfectly reasonable parent to me.
I don't know, right? because she does say, you know, she's wanting her to go out and get tanned off guys, right? Also, she's saying to her, you know, we never go out, and she's like, you go out every week. It's like, so they're actually using her as a babysitter. So I don't know, like
that's what happens. That's what happens. Also, that fucking wet manky Doug, isn't he coming in the house?
No, I'm not keen on that either.
Especially one with hair that length.
What was his name? Einstein. No, it wasn't Einstein. It was Merlin.
Yeah. It was Merlin.
Her mum was an actress. She's in a picture with Bowie on her mirror. That's right. There is a picture of Bowie. And it's what the photo that thingied. What does it say on it? It says the photo that something. It's like a news article one, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Aye, that's right. Aye. She was in Mike and Angelo.
Is that why you mentioned that?
She was in that. She was in Mike and Angelo. Yep. Her name is Shelley Thompson. She doesn't do much now. It's like when you look at what she's been up to since Labyrinth, it's like Trailer Park Boys, Mulligan, King and Pawn, Tokens, Moonshine, Breakout, Tin Can, I Am, Sid Stone, Disco Apocalypse, Digstown.
Disco Apocalypse.
Nobody watches. Aye.
Disco Apocalypse. That sounds
I hope that's just a ton of folk in sequins trying to kill each other. That sounds class. So she's not really been up to anything notable since then. But she was in Mike and Angelo, so that gets a wee nod from me. She's in Space Adventure Cobra, which is like an animated thing. She was in EastEnders. She played Debbie back in 1988. I don't remember that because I wasn't born. We're back. A Dinosaur Story. The Forgotten Toys. Like I says, Labyrinth was our peak, I think. But she probably already knew Bowie way back when. And Toby, that wee prick. Let's see what he's been up to since Labyrinth.
I'd love to
He's
know
in
how
the
they
new
managed.
Pinocchio.
How did they manage to keep him in such a state of distress for the entire film?
He's surrounded by goblin costumes, mate.
But even before that, he's crying constantly. It's like, hey, we're about to roll. Right, somebody go nip the Wayne.
Hi. He was in. By the way, Toby's done more than like quite a lot of the actors. Well, not as much as Jennifer Connelly, but he's done better than quite a lot. His voice. Oh, he's a creature designer, mate. He went into special effects.
Well, I think his dad is. I think his dad was involved with this film and
With
Dark
Labyrinth,
Crystal.
right? That's
And
basically like
that's
me,
why he's in it.
right?
And
That's
the
basically
reason he's called
me.
Toby, he was actually supposed to be called Freddy, but he wouldn't respond to any name except Toby, so they had to just change to Toby. I don't know why they were surprised at that. The kid is literally a
Called
toddler if he's walking at all, and they're like, "Oh, he's not responding to Freddy. We dick. We need to change the script."
kick him. Every time they kick him, he greets. He's like, perfect, perfect. Christopher Malcolm, he plays the dad. He went on to do a lot of good stuff. He was in Star Wars. He was in fuck all notable else than Star Wars. So
You've just meant he's waiting on to do a lot of stuff, Star Wars and fuck all.
pretty much. So then, so Linda, what exactly do you mean by it? It's about puberty. So what? She's growing up. A mad guy tries to steal her wee brother after she wishes her brother gone. And then what? She goes through a labyrinth, which is, I mean, she gets a lot of friendship. Because that's kind of what Labyrinth's about, is friendship. You know, when you first saw Ludo on screen, you weren't thinking, there's something.
Friend.
Aye. Hey, get this. I was in a wee market the day. It's like all these people get together where they handcraft stuff, right? All these wee cool folk, right? And I walk up and a dog. It's like a big Alsatian, no, a big husky. That's what it is, a big, beautiful looking thing. And I'm like, oh, is it friendly? He's like, yeah, because this is indoors in a market. And this is kind of, the reason I'm telling you this is like, you would approach Ludo the same way. I'm like, okay, well, this owner says it's friendly. We're in an indoor building. It wouldn't be here if it wasn't friendly. Rosie's like, hiya. It's like, fucko, knocks her straight off her feet. I'm like, and I'm like getting in between the dogs. I'm like, is this going to bite my child? Because if so, I've got a penknife on my keyring and I'm putting it straight up its throat if it does. So I'm prepared to do it, but it doesn't, right? And I'm saying to the guy, I'm like, you just said it was friendly. It's just it's just knocked my daughter down. He's like, oh yeah, she usually is. Fuck me, man. So this is the point. My point in saying this, right, is Ludo comes across as something you wouldn't really approach, and yet Sarah does. Leander says, so my interpretation is her parents are telling her to grow up and putting responsibility on her. She's struggling giving up her trinkets and fantasy life. She's fantasizing about Jareth.
Who couldn't he with they fucking leggings on?
She didn't need to fantasize much. You were playing snooker the day, man. I bet you've not seen a pair of balls like that.
Nah, I'm pretty sure you can see the veins on it.
Also, I've put on trackies once, several times, and gone, wait a minute, this is quite crotchy. Like you can kind of, like you're no leaving a lot here. So I'm like conscious about it. He's like, fucking jump, motherfuckers! He's dancing about and prancing about.
It's the bit where Hoggle's hanging off his leg, and you've just got right at the top of your screen just this big fucking thing.
That's a shit short version. No,
The puberty thing.
I mean, she's like, oh, I'm wanting you to go out and get railed. You should be at this age. And she's like, no, I want to stay in and do all the cool shit. Mate, have you seen the state of my stuff? Look at both of us. we never went through that letting go stage, did we?
No.
Mate,
No.
I literally have just rebought toys like what you've done. Rebought toys from my childhood.
Oh, my Stretch Armstrong snapped.
Oh no!
I bit my tongue.
I'm going to screenshot that.
It snapped, man. All the fucking corn syrup started coming at it.
Aye. These guys are for the 90s, man. So I've like, oh, they're collectible now. They were just my toys when I was a kid. So there's something to be said about no letting go. of your childhood, because I
Mhm.
think it's the happiest times in your life. And when you see things that remind you of your childhood, songs that you hear on the radio, toys you pick up, a familiar smell, like the smell of oranges, reminds me of my school camp, which was basically my last hurrah before I grew up. And so anytime I smell oranges now, I've got these wee candle burners in my cupboard, and I always ask my wife, "Can you get really orange smelling ones?" And when I smell it, it reminds me of being at school camp, and it just makes me feel good. Mental, right? The reason it reminds me of school camp is because I was the only one that took any hand wash, and it was orange, and everybody's like, "Can I use that, man? It smells class." So it became the thing. Hey, go to Kev, he's got the hand wash. And it smelt fucking awesome.
You know, there was one kid in the class that was eating it when everybody was sleeping.
That was.
But you taste like orange.
Glass, man. So I can kind of relate to Sarah's troubles here. It was actually written by the man himself, Jim Henson, and Dennis Lee and Terry Jones. Terry Jones actually created a film that I like, which is The Meaning of Life, Life of Brian, Monty Python's Holy Grail. He's part of Monty Python.
Yeah.
And
I knew I recognised that name.
aye, so
Yeah.
Terry Jones is part of Monty Python, which is class that he'd kind of made that. And how great is the puppeteer work in that? And as well, now you're watching it and it's half frame. You're like, all right, of course it's half frame, because they're sitting under there with a horn up his arse.
No,
Like this. That shall pass without my permission.
can we have your permission?
Yes.
Yes. That's ripped right away, Monty Python, by the way.
Aye, totally. He's some fighter and all that wee thing,
He's Sir Didymus was class. See when you see him run, like when you see the wide shot of him on the dog, and it's clearly just like a stuffed puppet, and it's just like just all over the place.
Totally. I think what gets me about that is, like, even now nowadays you don't see family films that are like that. It really is a family film, and it's
Mhm.
and there's so many characters with so much depth. Like, who wouldn't go to see Ambrosius, and what's his name again?
Ambrosius is the dog.
Aye,
That's
and what's the wee puppet guy's name?
Sir Didymus.
Sir Didymus, right?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't go to see a spin-off of their story, the origin story?
The origin story is Sir Didymus.
Sir Didymus. It's called
Well,
None Shall Pass.
We know how it ends. It's like, right, you stay here, don't let any kind of this bridge, right? The end.
In the bog of eternal stench. Have you seen Terry Gilligan's The Adventures of Baron Munchausen? It's a freaky movie. I'm now going to go see it.
I've
added
heard
to
of
that.
this one, but I'd never actually seen it.
Going to check it out.
I think my brother had mentioned it to me at one point, but no, I've never actually seen it.
Sad thing is, puppety movies like this don't get made anymore. It's all CGI pish now.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
The goblin design, like the puppet design in this, is amazing. The goblins, there's not two of them that look the same.
No, not at all.
They've all got their own wee characteristics in their faces, and even the way they move's different, and it's
the way
amazing.
they speak. One is definitely Abe from Abe's Odyssey.
My name is Abe.
This is Ruptured Farm.
Where am I
I
trying to
used to work here. Well, I was really a slave.
Ah!
Do, 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 do,
Yo,
do.
yo.
mate? Oh, I've got every Oddworld game. I think I remember we spoke to Tibor Takis about it here on the show.
Yeah.
We spoke about the fact that certain movies from our childhood can never be replicated, because even just like the opening of the film, the first 5-10 minutes, you can already get a feel for what, like, where it is and how it, you know what I mean? And he said it was enchantment.
Yeah.
Because there's something about even like Edward Scissorhands or The Goonies or The Gate, where you look at the neighborhood and you automatically are like, oh, okay, I'd kind of like to live there. It's a nice wee neighborhood. See, when something starts in a neighborhood, it's class.
I love the the design of the kind of colonial style American houses is always cool. Maybe early 1900 stuff as well.
Yeah, Totally.
Just everything looks like it was built for comfort.
Mhm.
You know, it wasn't just about how many properties can you squeeze onto this plot of land. It was about
Yeah.
right. Let's put one house there, the next one at least 200 yards away. Let's just keep going like that. That's
It's
a good way to
getting
do
it's
things.
mailing it. Matthewman says, my eldest told the wee one while watching it that all the goblins were babies that had been taken. Correct? I think that's what freaked her out while watching.
I think your eldest is an evil wee bastard, Matthew.
That's because Matthewman lets her see all the good stuff. Nah, that's good because she's not just accepting it. I think watching films when I was younger, I just accepted everything, never questioned it. I was just like, of course, it is what it is.
See like when we first get introduced to Hoggle, which is a great piece of animatronics.
Mhm.
I still laugh every time we see him, just pissing in a pond, just pissing in a pond. Don't even try to hide it. He's just like, yeah.
It's Frank Oz that voices Hoggle.
Right.
Same guy that voices Yoda.
And Kermit the Frog and countless other things.
I think Hoggle's brilliant. Hoggle is he's your Rodney and Del Boy, but his heart's in. There's a heart in there that
He's a
brings
bit
out.
of a wee prick. Like there's thing is, he literally. I read this in the thing as well. He literally is two-faced. He's got another face on his back.
That's right. Aye,
and
that's
it's to show that he's a two-faced wee prick, which is, and he still looks like Keith Richards.
It does. It so does. Okay, Ellen. He totally does look like Keith Richards, man. That's scary. Did they do that deliberately?
I don't think so, because I don't think Keith Richards looked quite as haggard as that back then, believe it or not. Interesting fact, though, Mick Jagger was another choice for playing the Goblin King. So was Michael Jackson, and so was Prince.
All would have done phenomenal, I think.
Yeah. I don't think...
It's magic!
By the way...
Jamon, get your brother!
Never gonna catch me. Oh man, that would be funny as shit.
So that's one of the ones.
I'd love to see a deep fake, by the way.
Oh, that'll be done. But I think it was somebody. I don't know if it was Jim Henson or Brian. I'm not sure, but somebody's daughter basically said, "No, get David Bowie to do it because he's more kind of current and hip than the rest of them." Don't know how you could argue that more current or hip than Michael Jackson was at the time.
Who's timeless? He's still current and hip now.
Yeah.
Matthew says, "Love all the wee hidden Bowie faces throughout the movie." Yes. I'm not going to search where they all are because I have seen a few of them, but I believe there's more that you can't actually. One's in the wall, definitely.
Aye. It's like Pennywise in the It reboot. You see his face popping up out of the place.
Aye. He tans kids. Hey, the Fireys used to give me the heebie-jeebs when I was a kid.
Always hated them. Like I wasn't scared of them, apart from the one that pulled out his own eyes and was like,
"Take out what ears!"
I always found that scene and that song in particular just really weak.
I like the song. The song's class. Piano section and it's class. You can't trust them though. Can't trust them.
Got a lighter here.
The Fireys. You're gonna light fire?
No, I never liked the Fireys. Never liked them.
They can pull themselves to bits. I don't know where they fit in the Labyrinth. I think the Labyrinth in its own universe could have been really cool to explore more. Like not even Sarah's story, but something else.
Like you can make
different creatures.
There's a lot of lore that could be diving into to create something like a whole series on Netflix or whatever. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if there is already something in the works.
Disney are taking all their IP and going right. I don't know if I'm actually correct here, but I believe this to be true. That when an IP is old, like a lot of the original Disney stuff, that it goes when it gets past like 100 years, the copyright, regardless who owns it, goes into the ether, unless you create another sequel using the IP. Does it stay your own? which is why Disney have taken all the originals and are now doing live action films. Is that correct? Do you think?
Well, I know that after a certain amount of time,
Because that's why they done Blood and
things
Honey, right?
things become public domain.
That's right, and I think that's how Blood and Honey was made. With Tigger
Right.
and all that. Yeah.
Right, I still haven't
With
watched that.
Tigger and all that. No, we've not watched it, but we should. I've been told. Actually, do you know? Lucas came to me this morning and said this. He goes, "Kev, you need to cover this on your podcast." Hold it up to me, and it's Indian Spider-Man, and I was screaming at a scene. So we actually need to watch it.
Indian Spider-Man, Indian Superman, all these things look amazing. I did watch the trailers for Spider-Man yesterday and nearly died.
Spider-Man.
I'm the hero nobody asked for. It's like, fuck me.
No. The I'm trying to think back here because for me, Labyrinth, like when you watch Labyrinth now, does it take away from how you initially felt about it back in the day?
No, and I think like
No,
the dark elements of it are still really quite creepy. Like the scene at the beginning where Toby first get taken and she goes into the room and you see like just like the shadows of the goblins creeping about in the background and that. I've seen horror films that don't do creepy as well as that.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I think it really does still work. Like when the Goblin King first actually presents himself, like comes in as the owl and kind of morphs, and you see the shadow come up. His costume and that's just amazing. I love that. I love that thing with the crystal.
That's
always loved that.
Aye, that was quite.
I still try that every now and again. As soon as I get my hands on like a glass ball, I'm going to try. I bet I could do it this time.
Don't defy me. Matthewman says he felt like Jareth wanted to smash Sarah. Did you get that?
Aye.
Really? Why? He's trying to nick like our baby brother. There's better ways.
Don't know. There was that whole Eyes Wide Shut scene that came out of fucking nowhere. Yeah, I was like, what's actually happening here? It was like she's at a fucking anonymous sex party.
The masquerade.
Aye. You're not telling me that not like everybody at that ball wasn't pumping after it was finished.
It'd be funny if they were doing it to the goblins. Take off her ears.
Yeah, your bumhole's awfully loose, mate. Oh no, that's for the horn.
It's had Peter Jackson's hand up it all night. Mind that time you slagged off Hingy's pal. What's his name? Michael Moore's pal. Mind you slagged off Michael Moore and his pal was on the call with us. Typical, man. Typical.
My arsehole went to the size of our puppets at that moment.
I'm like, big wide.
No, don't say that, Jordan. That's his best friend. I'm like, oh, fuck.
That's class. She says, Lander says he wanted a wife. He wanted to wife her, but she was imagining him trying to wife her.
So she fancies David Bowie, basically, and that was her.
Imagining that he wanted her.
Yeah.
Because she did fantasize about him a wee bit.
I'm getting really annoyed about this other film that I'm thinking was just on somebody's head.
Because
it's a similar thing. It's a fantasy film.
Saw?
What the fuck is it? It's really this is good. If any of you three watching know what I'm talking about, let me know.
By the way, as far as soundtracks for a film go, oh you fucker, mate. This is
man. I think it's
Get Bolt, my man. Bolt.
I think it's catchy. It's catchy, and there's some really cool like 80s synth stuff in that. See when she's running through that straight line. The music of that was like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, that's in like you get shit like that in old Commando films, right?
Right.
Where are you? Ah!
Jenny! Why don't they just call him Ghoul George?
Cool.
Sorry, where the fuck were we?
I was saying the soundtrack. I believe the soundtrack to be one of up there with some of the best.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay.
Gonna have to fight you on this one. No, it's no. Every fucking time a tune pops on Labyrinth, you're like,
Oh, so you recognise it for Labyrinth straight away. I'm not saying it's not good. I just wouldn't rate
so
it up there
feel
with the
good,
best
mate.
of all time.
So feel good. It is. It's just, and I wonder how Michael Jackson would have done it, or Prince. Nah, I'm glad Bowie done it.
No, I mean I like the song at the start. I like the
Underground.
and I like the one where they're doing the kind of the hall of stairs thing. I like the song that he's singing then. And
Into the Labyrinth.
yeah, I wasn't keen on the one at the
it's not
fucking
Into the
eyes
Labyrinth.
wide shut bit. But no, I mean it's okay. I'm not saying it's a bad soundtrack. We don't need to argue about it. I just don't.
Within You, it's called.
I wouldn't put it in the top 10. Do you know what I mean?
I would. Aye, it's in the top 10, along with like Rocky Horror. That's it.
We haven't spoke about the wee worm.
Oh, that wee cow, mate. See, in this day and age, that's a vegan.
Mate, I've written down. Wee worm looks like a neo-feminist.
No wonder she fucked it all up and all. Typical, man. Typical. Matthew says R. Kelly would have been good fit for someone chasing a teen, but sure he'd have peed on her at the end. Don't defy me.
I believe I unzipped my fly.
God, that wee worm, like, I don't know, like, but that wee worm could have been like, well, where are you trying to go? Rather than just like, she
Don't
fucked
go
it
that
all.
way. Never go that way.
gone
Oh,
straight
she
to
kept
that
on going
castle.
down that way. She'd have gone straight to that castle.
Wee fucking
Bastard, man.
It makes you laugh though, doesn't it? It makes you laugh.
Is that what worm's a man though?
Aye,
So come inside, meet the missus, have a nice cup of tea.
aye. It's definitely a man, but it looks like a neo-feminist.
Aye, it does. Looks like the type of people that jump on snooker tables and take a shit.
Aye. Just stop oil. Just get in my house, you wee fucking worm.
If you're in my house, mate, the door's locked. You're mine. You're mine.
Mine. You sound like it's like Christopher Walken as the Goblin King.
Yeah, no.
So
Mate, try it.
You know, I have your little brother here. You're not here in 9 hours. I'm keeping him.
Kinda.
Nah, I'm not very good at Christopher Walken, which is weird because it's one of the easiest impressions in the world to do because it's such a distinct sound. But past going, I'm not really very good at it.
Do you think that Labyrinth was like cutting edge for the time, or is this just was it the first of its kind? I think Dark Crystal came out before Labyrinth, didn't it?
Dark Crystal's a very different thing. I wouldn't actually ever really compare the two.
Yeah,
I find the Dark Crystal. I find it to be actually nowhere near as child friendly as Labyrinth. I think the Dark Crystal is really fucking dark. It's clues in the name, eh? But like the Skeksis used to scare the fuck out of me when I was a kid. That fucking thing.
Shut up!
I'm like, what the fucking and the old Chamberlain, whatever, that dies, and then its face just crumbles in the bed. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
Nah, I think I'm trying to find a 4K version of Labyrinth because all the greatest films for me, I'm starting to get in 4K now rather than just Blu-ray. And I wasn't chuffed. I've got Labyrinth on Blu-ray still, on a DVD. But I don't know. It's one of those I'd like a good physical fucking package, like what David's got in the movie.
See the bit where she gets to the two doors with the guards. You know, the two headed guards that look like playing cards.
Mm-hmm.
I've never understood the logic to this bit where she thinks she's figured it out.
I know, and then
I
falls
don't
into
know.
the hand.
I don't know if there is any way to understand it. Because even they say, like, she's like, "Oh no, I figured it," and they're like, "We don't know. I've never understood it." By the way, every one of them looked like Billy Connolly. Just imagine him playing that role if they did another one.
Aye.
Well, if he could still stand up.
Oh.
I wasn't meaning that as a joke. I'm fucking gutted. Gutted for that man.
Fuck him.
I swear to God, man, when he dies, I'll be taking time off work. it's not gonna be a good day in my house.
Nah. Billy Connolly's aight. But he'd have fit in well at the Labyrinth.
He's like, don't go through that door, you fucking idiot. There's a big fucking pit through there full of hands. And at least one of them's going to try and grab your boob. I've seen it.
Do you think it did? No, it wouldn't have.
Mate, it does.
Does it? Aye.
Oh, there's some feel copping going on when she's going down on their hands. Like,
I wonder how they pulled that off. Like getting
why
away
you
with it.
rephrase that?
They were very well done, by the way. I've seen it replicated several times. I think Mika. Remember Mika? Whatever happened to him?
The singer?
Mika. Aye.
He was shite.
No, he was talented. Thing is, he had a music video where they replicated that, and every time you see that now, oh, Labyrinth, where they're like, all right, pal. Hi, I'm all right.
Yeah, which way?
That's it.
It's this one. It's the one. This one creeped me out as a kid. Would you like us to let go?
That's right. It seems like everybody in the Labyrinth was always in on it.
Do you know how I really liked in the Labyrinth? See the talking walls? Oh, please. I haven't said it in such a long time.
Aye, those
guys. Man, they were class.
Go.
I'm only doing my job. To the path that would lead to certain destruction.
That's right. That's the Monty Python in it, right? That's totally a Monty Python.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That was fucking class. Go back.
Beware. Beware. I'm just doing my job.
Oh, be quiet. Matthew sent me a wee image. Holy fuck, how they made that. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what Matthew just sent me. That's mental. Like how they actually done that with your hand, but let's just show you, man. Let's just show you. Okay.
By the way, I never noticed before until I watched it today. The Bog of Eternal Stench has actual arseholes in it.
Where? Is it the bits that go?
It's
the water.
It's the bits that kind of go. They've got fucking lines coming off them and everything. Proper, they're like green chocolate starfish.
That's disgusting, mate. That's disgusting. That's how they pulled that off. That's mental.
They actually, Jesus, it was
They
actually
built a rig.
massive. I thought it was maybe like 8 or 10 feet, and they just kept shooting it and putting it together. It's pretty amazing.
That was right the way up. That's crazy, eh? But really good. Well,
yeah, that's
done.
impressive. Really impressive.
The Bog of Eternal Stench, and that's where we Ambrosius is, and Diddy.
Didybus, aye.
Aye, what? Why is Didybus in the Bog of Eternal Stench?
What? Why is he there? You never
Aye.
find out. He's sworn out.
That's right. Sworn off. Aye.
So I'm gonna see if I can find and send you.
Also, Hoggle's a minging wee troll anyway. What's he worried about stinking for?
What's he worried about stinking for?
I think, yeah, you can't go there.
Well, he's already really not got much going for him.
Right,
If he's fucking howling as well, he's never going to get his hole.
He doesn't get it anyway. He's never gonna get his hole. When he's back with the lads. And fairies bite you.
Aye, they don't grant wishes. No, these fairies.
No, they absolutely do not. What are you searching for?
Here we go. Copy. An arsehole for the Bog of Eternal Stench.
Ah, Is that actually what you googled?
No, but I've just sent it to you.
Class. And I'm going to bring this up. I don't know if it's an.
It might be a bit hemorrhoidy, but that's an arsehole.
You think so?
Mate,
so?
it farts and wee bits come out.
Ew.
Trust me, if anybody knows what that's like, it's me. It's a fucking arsehole.
No. No. Do you think in the meeting they were like, right, lads, so we're going to get to the bog of eternal stench, right? So there's going to be a wee bridge, cut of bits, and we're going to have these arseholes placed on it. Do you think they actually said that?
Well,
I think that what came up in the
there was
meeting.
definitely a choice there to try and give some adults a laugh by putting in big infected arseholes into this bog. They actually had to rebuild the set because somebody misunderstood what they meant by fill it full of arseholes and walked in one day and it was just full of Tories. Like, no, I meant actual arseholes.
Tories and vegans. I'm joking. I went for lunch yesterday and the guy came up to me and he goes, "Here you go, here's a menu. Sorry, we've discontinued the vegan menu." And I went, and then I see the table full of vegans in front of me. Hey,
You know, I'm going to start going to vegan restaurants and asking what their meat option is because that's what they do.
I'm not sure if that's correct. They go to restaurants.
Wait, why would you go to somewhere called Kentucky Fried Chicken and expect anything else but chicken?
Ah, that's fair play.
I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken. They never had vegan options. There was an option. You could have fucked off.
Speaking vegan Ross.
What?
Vegan Ross. I only said Ross. Could be Ross anybody. Can I get my chicken? Dear.
No.
Fuck off. Shout bag. Yeah, fair play. Would you say?
See when Didymus and Ambrosius run over the bog.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I piss myself, it's like that is made for me. That joke is right up my alley. Oh.
Right up your alley.
My alley of eternal stink.
That's true. I send all your stuff on. Every time you send something to me, it makes the rounds.
I know. Things I was texting her about it was it last week or the week before or something. And I was like, I don't know why I fucking send them this stuff, to be honest. And then she goes, to be fair, you're pretty much just allowing it at this point. I'm like, aye. Can't argue with that one.
It's definitely that. Do you think there are any hidden themes or messages in Labyrinth?
Germans. Well, I think there is something about that transition between being a child and having to grow up and leave all your kind of shit behind. Do you want me just to send them to you? Just cut out the middleman here.
It's a bit too personal.
So like, I mean, I think it is just essentially about growing up and getting to that age where you have to leave your childhood things behind, and how difficult it can be to move on for that stage. Like I still remember, like I believed in Santa Claus until I was way too old, and I miss it. I miss the magic of Christmas. You get it back a little bit when you've got your kids, but I miss the idea. Like, still look up in the sky on Christmas Eve. Do you know what I mean? It's fun. It's fun. So it can be tough.
She always gives a solid review. Always. Like, that was weak.
Sometimes I accidentally give a solid as well.
Well, that's true. I sent one to her and she was like, "That's too far."
I don't think I've ever actually. No, I've never sent you one of my accidents.
No, you have. You have.
No,
There
I've
was
not.
one that one when you were in the toilet and you had diarrhea.
That wasn't an accident. I was trying.
Fair
Like,
enough.
I think I need to clarify what an accident is. It's when you go like this.
God dang, man. God dang.
You just feel your arsehole going.
Oh, that's disgusting, man.
I know. I'm just trying to disgust you at this point.
You're no disgusting me. You're disgusting Lander. That's disgusting. Oh, that's mental. Here, see that part at the end of Labyrinth where they're like, "We'll be right here." Oh, that shite. That was quite sad because it was like the realization.
Should you need us?
Aye, that was it.
That was quite sad. I was like, "Oh man."
Aye, but then they just threw a big fucking massive party.
Aye, mate. They're just fucking jumping about the room and that. So what? Does that mean that okay, your pals are back now? So
Maybe that was the last hurrah before she started getting her cycles or something. I don't know.
do you think that's what it is?
Possibly. There's always a message in these types of films, but it doesn't have to just be one message. I think a lot of films are made so that you can interpret it for yourself. Like whatever message you get for it is the right message. It could be.
Yeah, totally. It's like a song.
Yeah.
What was it Bon Jovi says in "It's My Life" that Frankie said I did it my way. He said that Frankie became so many different people to different people.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was Frank Sinatra, to other people, Frankie was something else.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's quite cool.
Yeah.
I think there's something too. I think that's maybe one of the things that Stranger Things are really big because childhood is something you can really play on when it comes to storytelling. Donna says, I think the ending was the final party before growing up when they say, should you need us, meaning they will still be there unless your grand sells them at a car boot sale.
That sounds too specific. What happened?
We had all these toys above our grand's loft, like toys like the ones I showed you. And I think a lot of them made it to a car boot sale, so we don't get the chance to go back and party with our toys.
You never know. You might have bought one back and you don't even know it.
Hey, might have just done it there. Smart Duck says the message.
Hey, Smart Duck's back.
Don't watch a movie with David Bowie in it again. I disagree with you, Smart Duck.
Don't watch a film with his dick in it again.
That's maybe the kind that Smart Duck's been watching.
Smart Duck.
Smart Duck. It's quite I think letting go of childhood. I think because most people don't actually know they've done it. Can you fucking podcast you in your head off?
It just happens. It just happens. Like childhood, it's not something that ends. It just disappears. It's a weird thing.
That's scary, mate. It disappears. Doesn't end.
Well, I hope reincarnation's a thing, man. Because I can't wait to be a kid again.
Aye.
Mind that, like the things you thought made your life difficult as a kid, you look back at it now, you're like, just you wait.
Remember, you used to be scared of getting shouted at after the teacher, and I'm like, motherfucker, shout at me all you want. I'll argue with you.
Nah, I was never really shouted at very often. I was
the classic. I never really got shouted at very often. No, often. Get this. The old classic. If I knew then what I know now. Yeah, I mean.
Aye. It's like, if I knew then what I knew now, they'd probably think I was on the spectrum, to be honest with you.
Probably.
Aye.
Probably. Smart Duck says, it was a thoroughly disappointing film to watch at the pictures. Smart Duck, you seen that in the cinema? Well, I mean, mind we put it on.
Mm-hmm.
A poster of it up there. That was the second film we ever put on in the cinema together as a cinema takeover. Labyrinth, and it was class.
Yep. Sellout crowd.
Aye, man, it was Dance magic, folk all getting all this during the tunes and that. It was
They
fucking.
were all just there to see a 10-foot bulge.
Aye, Bowie's bulge. Aye, did you've just John Edmonds, didn't you?
I was just adjusting my seat.
Aye, you're adjusting your fucking guts, mate.
That's a great word for it. What are you doing? I'm just going to adjust my guts.
Oh, what? Aye, so I think on the whole, Labyrinth will always be. I'm firing on all cylinders tonight.
Thomas.
I think Labyrinth for me will always be one of those absolute classics. I know my sister really liked it growing up. It was always like her film. But I'm like, I loved it too, but always kind of just was like something that she loves. Lander says, I took my kids to see it at your cinema because they wouldn't sit for it in the house. No escape wall. Really? Were you there that day? You must have been there then.
I didn't know that.
Mental. So she knew this podcast back then.
She knew the cinema.
Well, she's attended one of our events before she attended one of our events. Crazy, man. Crazy. No way. That's class, man. So we met before we met. Scary, man. Scary. That's scary stuff.
Can you remember when we stood up and gave a speech before it started?
We done it at Never Ending Story. Might have done it at Labyrinth and then stopped doing it. Mind, we took a DVD of Gremlins for the Gremlins screening. We're like, we're not getting up to say fuck all. Here, the last year next to us, want this DVD. That's
right, because we had a competition to win the DVD.
Totally. That's funny.
I'm pretty sure we just gave her it because she spoke to us and she said that she'd been at her last ones and stuff. She enjoyed it. We're just like, there you go, DVD.
Mate, a boy walked in the other day to see Indiana Jones, and he obviously had difficulties. And I said to him, "Oh, how's it going?" And he's talking to me, and he's like, "Oh, I actually met Harrison Ford during the filming of this new Indiana Jones, so I'm excited to see it." And I was, "Oh, that's cool, man." He says, "Yeah, my dad died, and our thing was Indiana Jones. So watching Indiana Jones proper got me through him passing. So I'm really amped up for this." I was like, "Here we man." And I gave him a poster, like an official poster. I says, "Keep that, because in years to come that might be worth something." He's like, "I'll never sell it." And his wee pal's like, "Can I get one?" I'm like, "Fuck off." We're trying to do a thing here. We're trying to do a thing here.
It's like, I was about here filming this. You're asking for a fucking poster,
Well, I thought it was nice. I thought that's the power of cinema and film and music, is being able to encapsulate experiences, make it mean something. I thought that was quite sound.
I see you did a nice thing there, man. Well done.
And I never put it on Facebook or fuck all. Check out it, right?
Smart duck. It was a boring film, but thanks to that, I got a snack at the bird up the back and found a wallet with a $5 in it. That's a good day at the cinema. That.
It's a review, man. You should have reviewed.
So that in itself, you should go into IMDb and give Labyrinth a 10-star review right away. It's like, it was so boring, I got my hole.
And a $5. Fucking yes. That again, a $5 would have meant quite a bit. You could get a week's shopping on a $5 back then, I think.
Not a week, but a good couple of days.
Oh, I reckon a week. Now a $5 gets you a packet of crisps.
It's terrible, isn't it?
It's disgusting.
Really
I went into Iceland the other day and was like, how did I just spend 17 quid on fucking a Slimming World meal and like fucking a pizza?
I know.
Like, what the
I know.
fuck, man? 17 quid? My sister's like, I bought one thing and it was 12 quid. I was like, fuck me, shoot me.
So would you buy a freezer?
That's
the thing. Like, you can go in, you can spend 40 quid, then you get him looking at you, you're like, I've not even got a meal. It's like, I've just bought shite. I don't have a meal.
Oh well.
I've got Pop-Tarts and cheese strings. I've got no fucking food.
Pop-Tarts and cheese strings. Cheese strings are class, by the way.
Oh, I eat them on a daily basis.
But by the way, I'm like,
can I just say there's something about saying the words daily basis in that accent that just fits. I eat them on a daily basis.
well, by the way, when I see those cheese strings in the fridge, I'm like this with the kids. Fuck off. They're like, can I get one? I'm like, no, you fucking can't. Eh? Why not? Because I'm fucking eating them, right?
Gets in after work. He's like, where's my cheese strings? Like, I put them in the Wayne's Pie lunches. I don't know what they were for. Does it fucking work? That's what I know.
Fucking fighting to eat the kids.
I mean, I used to see how many strands I could peel them into. It'd end up like with a wee cheesy pom pom.
My wife hates them. She says it's stupid plastic cheese. I'm like,
yeah, but I love plastic cheese. Like, see if I go to a restaurant and there's a cheeseburger, I will ask them, I'll like a cheeseburger, but is it real cheese or is it the cheap American plastic shite? They go, oh, it's real cheese. I'm like, nah. Seriously, I hate having like cheddar on a burger. It fucking ruins it. I'd rather just have a plain burger.
Well, if you cook it properly, if you put the cheddar on while the burger's still on the griddle and let it melt into the burger, then you're
but
playing
it's
with
still that flavour of cheese. I like cheap
mate,
plastic cheese. Wait, is that not a song? Fake plastic cheese. Fake plastic cheese.
Again.
That's what you tune.
It has been sitting up there for a long time. It's been sitting up there for some time. I need to get a wee tune.
Get a wee tune, and then give us a wee tune.
Oh no, I wouldn't subject you. The moment's gone. It's fake plastic cheese. Oh man.
Fake plastic cheese. Who sung that song?
Is that even a song?
It's fake plastic trees, but who sung the song? Somebody watching knows.
Tears for Fears or some shit.
Somebody knows. It's REM.
Fake plastic trees by Radiohead.
Oh, Radiohead, REM, same fucking
thing. Same thing, aye. Smart Duck says, got a fried pizza supper and a bottle of Strike Cola.
For a $5, that's a good night, man. That's good.
You don't get that for a $5 now, my man. No for a $5 now.
Strike Cola. Fuck.
What kind of movies would you say, like when you say, okay, Goonies, around the time Goonies came out, you had A, B, or C. What would you say came around the same time as Labyrinth? Is it, so it's 1986, right? So let's have a wee look. 1986 movies. But Aliens, that was Jim Cameron's first time doing an Alien film. Stand By Me, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Platoon, Castle in the Sky, The Fly, Big Trouble in Little China. That was a great year for movies, mate.
You just don't have years a movie.
Highlander!
Oh,
that can be only
depressing. I'm pretty sure Top Gun was 1986.
It was, absolutely was. Flight of the Navigator.
What else?
Flight of the Navigator.
Flight of the Navigator. That's my fave.
Rockin' all Dundee. Rockin' all Dundee. We got Hitcher, Karate Kid 2, An American Tale, Short Circuit, my man.
Did Red Sonja come out in 86?
He's a funk. Rocky 4, Explorers, Red Sonja, probably. That's the one where Arnie actually smashed Bridget Nielsen, eh?
Aye. Dirty bastard.
What I didn't get about that is he's like, in his book, he's like, yeah, I was in a long-term relationship with the lassie he's married to now, still. And he's like,
no, I think they're divorced.
Are they divorced now?
Aye.
Because he fucked about a lot.
Aye.
Mentally.
Yeah. Silly boy.
Aye.
Silly boy. He talks about it in his new Netflix thing.
No, checked out. Lost a lot of respect for Arnie.
Why?
Because he screwed over someone. I don't know the person personally, but I've been following him, chatting now and then. Kind of screwed him over. And I thought, oh.
What happened? Tell me.
So person A does a ton of big events, right? Got an exclusive deal, put his whole life work into doing a lot of big events with Arnie. Yeah, exclusive signed contract. Then people buddied up to him and was like, "We'll bring our company and help you do what you're doing." And then behind his back, they were like, "Arnie, fuck this cunt, help me us." And Arnie's like, "Yeah, no problem." Just fucking patched him after having exclusive rights, and the guy put his heart and soul into making it work. And Arnie didn't even show up to the big event the second time. Used the whole COVID excuse, but this was when COVID was like right out the door and folk were all mingling again. So he was like there via feed. So it's like you're on the screen Zoom calling with him when the whole thing was about him. So this guy's put a lot of time, effort, and capital into doing something with Arnie to raise Arnie's brand. Not that he needs raised, but using Arnie's brand and getting the best out of it for Arnie and for his company. Arnie, I just don't think he's loyal when it comes to that. I mean, I don't know him personally, so I've just seen a scenario and thought that's pish. That's pish. So
Showbiz, man.
it is, and that's maybe the way of the beast. But I like to think if I was worth anything, and I sat in a room with people and they want to do something with me, and I shake their hand and say, right, this is how it's going to be. I've in the current job I'm in, I've been offered jobs about 3 times, right, that pay me more money to do what I'm doing right now. I've been offered 3 different times, and I've said no each time.
God, I love you. We'll call it integrity.
It's integrity. It's purely because I would have got offered those jobs if that one person didn't say, right, here's let's do this and take that shot. So I'm gonna do the best I can until there is no more that I can do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like jumping ship because I don't know. I'm quite loyal to what's given to me was what I give back. Smart Duck says, seen Predator at the pictures. Can remember thinking, where the fuck is he getting all the tools and equipment? Was there a barbecue in the fucking jungle? Aye.
What?
Aye, Smart Duck's been on the fucking Johnny Walker, man. I bet you Smart Duck's Matthewman.
Nah, I'm sure there was Smart Duck. Does Smart Duck not have 2 alter egos that showed up one night?
I don't know.
Can't remember. Anyway. So in closing on the old Labyrinth,
I think it will always be a fucking classic, man. I would even go so far. I really need to get a tattoo of Never Ending Story. That's what's next on the. I would really like to, but Labyrinth's up there. There's things like Lost Boys, Halloween, Goonies. Like Labyrinth definitely has its place in there.
Yeah.
Of all-time favorite movies, and my most all-time favorite movies are from 80s onwards.
Out of 10.
Labyrinth, oh motherfucking 10. Take 11.
10. If you could change anything about it, what would you change?
Would I change? I don't think I'd change anything about it, mate. I don't, because it's it does everything it needs to do. It does for me.
Give me your 2023 remake actors.
Does it have to be a remake?
Yeah, it has to be a remake, and you need an actor for Jareth and an actress for Sarah. Who are you choosing?
Sarah, I'd probably go with Zooey Deschanel. Oh wait, now because she's a bit older now for what Sarah.
She's about 40 now.
But she would have worked as a young Zooey Deschanel, right? I'm not allowed to say young, so it has to be someone that's still fairly young because I don't know a lot of young actresses. I'd say Millie Bobby Brown, but I heard she's a right arse. And I've seen quite a few things about her, so I don't know.
Zendaya? Zendaya?
Who's that?
Spider-Man's bird for the Tom Holland ones.
Nah, she seems like an arsehole, I know.
They're all arseholes.
That's true.
If anybody's want to come on the podcast, they'll give us a shout. Jibber.
I know. Next week on Grizzling. Nice to meet you, Glizzer. Is that Clubland? No, it's not. Labyrinth was dope. He-Man Master of the Universe is up there too. J-Mac, is this your long-lost wife?
Kevin actually very lovingly sourced an edition of the Starburst magazine from 1987, and on the front cover, there we are, Master Universe with Dolph Lundgren, Skeletor, all that stuff.
Yes.
It's also, by the way, I don't know if you had a look through it, it's also announcing the start of Star Trek: The Next Generation,
I
which is
did see
fucking
that,
awesome.
I know. It's crazy, yeah. I got Matthew in a few, I know.
Got a few.
and
You didn't be one, you
well,
prick.
there was there was two for him because they're his favorite movies of all time. But yours was the only one I could see for you that you'd really like was
I can smell a fart that I never done.
Grizza. Nice to meet you, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen you here on the show. Master Universe, most definitely. J-Mac and Matthewman. Love that.
I'm a big fan of Masters of the Universe. We need to deep dive that at some point. This is when Kev goes, we have.
BQ, nope. I know. Todd messaged me the other week and was like, why have you never deep dived Last Action Hero? And I'm like, nah, we should. And then he's like, wait a fucking minute, he's dead. And I'm like, Alex, so we did. Mate, we've done so many episodes that it's really hard to keep track. Yeah.
Imagine we did a deep dive of something we'd already done, and like a comment came up saying, "You guys have already done this."
I
Like,
know.
oh no!
And I mind that time I was on the Paranormal Pattern, and I was like, Fee, we should definitely do a show on this. And she's like, you're fucking dead. She was like, you fucking dead. Like
That was
2 weeks
brilliant.
ago, yeah, bam. Hey, J-Mac, look at this.
Oh, can I get that one?
Oh, I don't know. Like, I love it.
Oh, you
I love it.
prick.
I'll show
What
you.
a great
right? Look.
movie poster that is! A painted
know.
movie poster.
I know. This is Matthewman's.
All right, right,
This is Matthewman's
right.
because they're two of his favorite. This is mine.
I got you.
This is also mine.
Got you.
This is also mine.
All right, yeah.
And the final one. Da-da-da!
A Superman 4. So another 1987 masterpiece right there.
Hey, but no. My favorite was that. When I seen that, I was like, nah.
But look at
kept
that
going-
poster art. Go and
I
hold
know.
that closer to
know.
the camera. Look at that poster art. And does that not tell you? That tells you exactly what that film is about as well.
Exactly. That's a Matthewman, by the way. That is a Matthewman. Like, that's how Matthewman does posters for movies. By the way, he's been
I was
fucking
watching
kicking it.
Last Action Hero when I was on holiday. I was
Mhm.
looking at it. I was going, that wee boy looks like my niece.
Love Shizzy. Hey, Elena says, do a horror version with Mia Goth and Marilyn Manson. No a bad shout.
I don't know. Mia
I've never
Goth makes me
played-
uncomfortable, but not in a
Why?
good way. Like I find her hard to watch. It's the fucking eyebrows or lack of them.
She's not got many eyebrows. Grezza says, you going to all the occult things with Bowie and the movie deep dive?
No.
I'd like to. Nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you too. Dark Crystal is good too. It was all right. Matthewman says, Last Action Hero is so underrated.
Oh,
Mate,
100%.
we've
Do you know the
talked
thing
about it
is,
at length.
the critics didn't get it. They didn't get the fact at the time that it was supposed to be a piss take. They were like, oh, this film's ridiculous. Yes, it is. That's the whole fucking point. That's why
I've
there's
killed a
five-
man and I've did it on purpose.
That's a
Charles
great
Dance
line.
is fucking it. But I understand the occult symbolism and references in Labyrinth. The movie becomes a big allegory of the mind control. Deep diving.
This wasn't the type of deep dive that we did, but we'd be very interested to hear some other stuff on that. So get in touch.
Jibberjabberscotland@gmail.com. I repeat, jibberjabberscotland@gmail.com. Send me all this shit. I want to head down the rabbit hole and then we'll talk about it. Seems like my kind of thing. I would like to, most definitely. And we'll do it on a Paranormal Partner episode, which will be coming up soon. He said, no, no, he's not going to send it. Well, then.
No. I think it might have just been because he's like, oh, did you discuss this? And I was like, no.
All right. No, we didn't, but that's an episode for Paranormal Partner, most definitely. I've always said I imagine the Titanic. Did I not say it to you a couple of weeks ago? I was like, months ago actually. I said I'd love to do something on Titanic. I think that's. I knew if we'd done it.
No, but now it just looks like we're jumping on the bandwagon.
But I've been mad
Jumping
about
on
that
the
for you.
submarine, if you will.
Hey, get this! I've got a Titanic that looks like the actual Titanic right now because my wife was starting to build it and she got fucking annoyed with it, and it's all in bits. I'm like, "Oh, it looks like the actual fucking Titanic." Like, fuck me, man. Build
So
it.
you've no fucking finished it. No, this is the shipwrecked version.
Hi,
Just opened the
legend,
box.
Grizzer. Please send that in. We might actually get you on to talk about it. You need to meet Kieran, our gatekeeper for facts.
A resident defector to the border, the southern border.
Do you know what I love? When Kieran goes, "That sounds like pish. There wasn't the iceberg." I'm like, "Come here,
He never said
come
that.
here." He did. He did.
Kieran said that.
He said that in the chat. He said there was no iceberg. I'm like, "Come here, come here," because I do know that all the people on that Titanic that sunk and died, they were the ones opposed to the Federal Reserve, and because they died, the Federal Reserve came to be, and that's pretty much why we're all fucked now, because of the Federal Reserve just printing money and creating inflation, not backing up
Do you know what's
anything.
again? We're a wee bit off topic here, but it's always funny how they can just print money whenever they need it.
Aye.
They can't just
Yeah.
do it for folk that actually need it.
Yeah, but when they
it's
print
funny.
money for when they need it, we suffer because of that. Because then more money comes into our circulation, which means our shit costs more because our money means less. Because there's
Mhm.
nothing backed up by what actually it's a promissory note. We went deep into this with Torsten when he came on to talk about Bitcoin. We went deep into that, and it's true to this day that it's fucking fucked. Systems against us, man. Grizza, get that shit sent to me, man. We'll get fucking chatting about it.
That'd be fun.
Aye, definitely. Well, J-Mac, it's been another great deep dive. I think next week we'll be chatting about something paranormal. We actually decided what it was. I think it's to do with the submarine, so that'll be class.
That's no paranormal at all.
Well, it is when you consider the ghosts probably cursed them.
How does a ghost sound on the water?
Find out that and more next week. Aye, it'll be good to get another paranormal partner up soon. I believe next week should be earmarked for that. I've reached out to a couple guests. We'll see what happens. We will have Dick Dynamite, director and writer, Steed himself, coming on very soon, and there'll be a live event coming very soon. J-Mac can tell you about it after the show.
Please do.
And it's all coming about, so it'll be really, really bloody cool. Look for us in our new short film at some certain festivals that we'll find out if we've been accepted for soon. Hopefully you can join if you can. It'd be quite cool.
Hopefully get to see my puss on the big screen.
Again.
What do you mean?
You were in Hellboy 1 and 2, no?
No.
On that note. So thank you guys for fucking sticking with us, man. What's this? Grizza says money's works on complex money, energy numbers, quantum physics, energy. This seems like a Kieran. I was paranormal once. Grizza, you sound like another Kieran. You were dead. Grizza, you need to reach out. Let's chat a wee bit. Let's find out what you're all about. But on that note, I feel like we've found Grizza too late. But Grizza, get chuck an email. Let's find out what you're all about. So we'll catch up with you guys very soon. Thank you very much for checking out our deep dive of Labyrinth, which will always be a classic, man. It's a fucking belter of a tune. Hope it didn't get copyright struck for the start, but I thought if we're going to do an episode like this, it needs to come in with a bang. I always try with the deep dives, but we'll see what happens, eh? We'll see what happens. I've enjoyed talking about it, taking a trip down memory lane, and I've enjoyed having all you guys here chatting away at us. So thank you for always checking us out and always supporting us. Subscribe and do all that cool shit. J-Mac, anything you'd like to say before we smash a credit scene?
No, that's all good, man. Just keep watching and we'll keep doing this.
All good in the hood. Take it easy, guys, and we shall see you next week.
Ross Gunning's a prick.
Bye. Oh, serious.
should you need us.